can't even see my hands.
One day I'm gonna surprise everyone and have Daryl handcuff me.
Yeah, just do some kind of Illuminati sign or nothing. So.
Daryl's gonna show up from behind me and handcuff me and be like, "You're under arrest for reading too much Valiant comics." Nice. I'm Carl Choi, publisher of 24/7 Comics, here with my co-hosts, SCG, as well Noel, aka Stingray. And as always, welcome to TLDR. I am a hardcore, I would say, commercial early Valiant fan. And this whole thing started when Jason and I at Baltimore Comic Con was diving deep into our nerddom. And, I go to Jason because he's kept up with Valiant from day one, even till now. And so we then, in the weirdest turn of events, had our friend here, Noel, who basically took an interest and started reading Valiant comics. And we thought it'd be such a cool idea if we all got together and actually get Noel caught up, and then him and I can then go into like the next phase of Valiant. And here we are. And so today we're gonna wrap up this whole Harbinger.
I just wanted to read some comics, and you guys are like, no, you got to do YouTube stuff with us.
You got to read these comics.
Yeah, read these specific comics, and then you're going to talk to us about them.
and then all of a sudden, Stingray is now like about to get a badge for getting his Stingray art chosen on Comic Art Cat, our fans every week on their features.
Will to this week make a three-peat? I mean, what?
It could be. I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow.
I'm very curious, but yeah, it's fun. So often what we do, guys, is we just talk about Valiant, the stuff we love, and get caught up, answer any questions from the audience, as well as, this is kind of like a new series for us where we actually cover the books issue by issue. And thanks to Global Comics, we can do that with you guys live. And what's really cool, too, is some of our Q&A, we also include our friend ChatGPT. And one of the questions I thought would be kind of cool to show you guys today is, what were all the books that came out through the Valiant universe before they sold to Acclaim? And these were kind of the books I would say I was most familiar with. And so I guess, I'm kind of surprised. Jason, I don't know if you kind of remember this or not, but I guess Turok came out after the sale to Acclaim. Or we're interesting, right? It's not included.
You can't always trust what ChatGPT tells you.
I guess not.
Turok, the next generation of Turok did, because they leaned into that with the video game. But Turok came out before. Well, I don't think so. It might have before they changed the name. So
I think they missed Turok because it's 1993. Turok did come out in 1993, and they have Secret Weapon here. They have because I think it was like July 1993. I gotta say.
Yeah.
Right?
So they kept just the Valiant name, and then eventually they added the Acclaim name on there, and then just did away with the Valiant altogether, really, and just had the Acclaim.
All right, let's see if look at this. What about Turok? You're right to bring up Turok. I missed that one.
Yeah. See.
That's hilarious.
So there is another good website for people to go who might not be knowledgeable on Valiant Comics. There is a website called VALIANTFans.com. And at VALIANTFans.com, they also have some other websites where you can see articles where they've posted what the order of reading is, as well as, how to collect Valiant's comics like a pro. And so Rob Boswell mentions one of his favorite covers ever is actually Harbinger 1. Yeah. There is a homage to Harbinger 1 with Harbinger 24, Rob. You probably already knew that. But and actually with the VEI run, there is a Sean Chin did an homage to the Harbinger 1 cover too.
Oh, nice. I want that. I want that. Yeah. I didn't know he did that. Reason a Mustang other than a cool car? That's a question we should ask. Who will we ask about that?
Jim Shooter.
Shooter, right?
So Shooter drew the original prelim for that cover. If you ever go to see Shooter at a show, he'll just talk all day long, right? And he's got all the receipts, as far as like the original sketch and everything.
I think he's going to be at the Hero.
Yeah, he's supposed to be.
Cool. We can go bug him.
And like I said, he loves to talk, so I think it'd be really cool to be able to catch him at Heroes. And
Yeah,
I agree. It's funny. I actually have that question for Shooter already from one of our past meetings. So yes, the day Shooter comes, we will ask him that, Rob. So with that said, guys, let's get to Harbinger. I feel like, this is a big one. I feel like Harbinger was like a key title within the Valiant universe. I know Stingray, you had mentioned that it's not your favorite, but I think there's reasons for that, right?
I mean, when we first started talking about it, yeah, I just felt it was very heavy in the X-Men influence, like it was real apparent, and I don't know, it felt like X-Men light, or like it was just trying to be like a mix of like traditional X-Men and maybe some New Mutants thrown in, to get the younger characters and all that. And I don't know, but I mean, and it's not like that I hate it or anything. I just, of the books I've read so far, like I don't know if I enjoyed it as much as like say Exo or even Shadow Man. But honestly, just getting to talk about it with you guys, it's helping me appreciate it more.
Makes sense. Those are really hard to top. So where are we with this, guys? Issue 17. I think in the last run we saw a lot of these like single issues featuring each of the characters, but now we also have some new characters, right?
Yeah, so in a couple of these, they're going to introduce, like, this is the first appearance of the guy named Camouflage. You see his eyes floating there, and so
that panel is fun.
That's cool. Yeah,
they're getting into some hijinks, but yeah, this is the first appearance of Camouflage in this issue.
There's that trademark flare in his eye.
Yeah. And there's a couple things I caught on this too. We're not there yet, but I'll dive into it more later. Because now the guys they're kind of settling at this point, right? Like as far as like the Harbinger team.
It's kind of a foreshadowing of how things are just going to be jumbled all up differently at 25, issue 25, right? Because like they've been doing this whole thing and they feel like, okay, we're finally settling down, introducing some new characters, and then nope. So I wonder if that was intentional or if that was just kind of the way it fell out. But going from 25 to 26, because it did feel like they were settling down to more of like the teen type book,
And this is Camouflage himself, right? So what is he doing?
Yeah.
Is he what's the
somebody called him a freak or something, and he got all mad about it. So it's really
and dude is trying to like literally drag his girlfriend out of a party or whatever, and so he's like, I'm not a freak and you're harassing her and whatever, and he just starts beating on him.
Just lost it.
And then the Egg Breakers show up.
All right, so Egg Breakers. So the Egg Breakers ever a spin-off into their own series, or are they just mostly just within the
No, they're Team Harada.
They're basically like Cobra Kai, right?
Right. So they come and get Camouflage. It's like he's going to go back with us, and at first Pete's like, "No, they're not going to go with you." No, they're going to. They decided it wasn't it was his choice, and fight that one another day. So other than the character, there really wasn't a lot of going on in that one.
So this was cool. There's another introduction of Screen as well. So this, I'm guessing, is also his first appearance.
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, if you kind of look back at our last video and all the Harbinger issues that leading up to it, it felt like they really wanted to dive in each character individually, right? It's almost like they kind of spread the love within the office and was like, all right, you take this character, and let's all just like put books out based on these characters to dive a little deeper into their individual personalities and journeys.
Yeah, and then they start introducing all these new ones, and so the girls are all. I think the character in the middle's name is Shaquita.
Yeah.
She was the mutant that they found back in the first appearance of Hardcore. Was that issue 9 or 10?
Something like that, yeah.
That's
and
cool.
So they're out having a girls' day, and they're going to run into some more Psyots, to include Scream.
But I thought this kid was kind of random. Who is this kid?
Isn't he one of the ones with Axe? I thought.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
he was?
He comes back later. But
Okay.
so your Screen comes in, and the difference between Screen versus some of the other ones is like he comes off as like, I'm older, I'm more experienced in how to use my powers. It's not necessarily that his powers are certainly more than what Pete's are, but his he just comes like he's got a better handle on it.
Yeah, his vibe is almost like a Gambit. You look at him, he's kind of like.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I've been around the block. I've kind of done this thing longer than you. Yeah.
All right, and then okay, so Peter gets sick, right? Like, what happened? Like, why is he sick? Look at it. I guess it may lead to a spoiler, but physically being Harbinger, that is.
Yeah, he says it's not too much to worry about. I'm sitting here to refresh my memory myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and so he's alluding to what his abilities do. If you, the doctor asked him about, I don't know, considering your extraordinary abilities, I'm curious about your physical status. Like, because up to this point, they really haven't. X-Men did this more. Like when you overuse your powers, like you exhaust yourself, basically.
Yeah, definitely.
And so it's almost as if they're kind of setting that up, which is kind of a thing for 25, right? Because of what happened. That really, is there a limit? Your powers might be limitless, but your body's not going to handle them.
Right.
That makes sense.
That's a big thing for Harada, as we'll find out. So.
All right, so they said thank you, checked on him, then he passes out again. Is that what happens? He kind of passes out.
Yeah.
All right, Ambassador Toynbee. I thought this was random. Like,
oh yeah, this part felt really just like, wait, why are we in the Middle East all of a sudden?
Yeah, it was super random. It's almost like all of a sudden the Middle East, and then there's like just they're on this adventure, and then I think they're setting up the antagonist right for the next few issues.
Yeah,
it was too kind of random because it was like literally just all of a sudden a deep double splash of like.
Right. And then you turn the page again, and like Pete's recovering in the apartment they're all staying in, and Screen is there, and there's a fight, and it's just like, wait, what?
Yeah, there's a lot of skipping around, and you're kind of wondering what the hell they just brought like a stranger dude home. Very trusting, I say.
And then going back to that last page, Screen says, "Hey, I've come to warn you," and it says that Harada, you are on his hit list, like you're high up there. So again, he's more of the aged Psyot. He, his power sets being what they are, but he knows a thing or two because he says this isn't some game, this is war, and and so he says, hey, you've got to get some more people together, otherwise Harada's going to take you over. And he says, so you turn the page. He says, I think your time's just about up, kid. I know because I've been through this before.
Wow.
And he says, hey, I'll keep in touch. And I always like dated references. You have my beeper number.
That's awesome. Now, do we see more of Screen later? Is this just like a little? Okay, cool.
Yeah, he will be a character in issue 25. I won't spoil the rest of it, but yeah.
So he does play a really big role in what's to come.
And so this is kind of a telling thing right here because another dated reference, which you got the little kid Scout.
Mm-hmm.
He turns invisible and then he steals the little pizza.
Yeah.
But it's Bill Clinton being sworn in.
Yeah.
Saw that too.
And look who's in the background.
Yeah.
Harada's been behind it this whole time. That makes sense. Now we know. Now that we know what we know about Bill, it all.
Well, we know that Monica plant. It was Harada all along.
Where fiction meets reality. All right. So now it's why the India guy shows up, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Khalif.
Yep. All right. So what is the station here? Like, what's going on?
Oh well, this is another Harada or Harbinger Foundation location. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was a very kind of weird character, kind of like a I'm high maintenance kind of character. Right?
Well, so they introduced the character of the ambassador in the previous issue. This is his wife, I think.
Oh, okay.
Right. So she's got powers. So he's got like, investment in, dealing with people with powers and that kind of thing. So it's one of those, Harada's pulling the strings through people that he knows and,
Oh, that makes sense. So that's why she's a little bit more high maintenance, and she
right. And they're just trying to like do stress tests and figure out like understand her powers and stuff, but she's just all like, I'm not. It's not what I do. I don't do that 'cause people tell me to,
Yeah, and he at that bottom panel down there, his eyes sparkle. They don't do the Pete Stanchek thing, but they do sparkle down there.
Which one? That's him now.
Yeah,
okay.
You will drive us. I will drive you. So obviously he's got that's one of his skill sets.
This is a double wink. He's like wink, 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 wink.
Does that make him more
nice? Yeah. All right. So of course they bring her home as well. They bring everyone.
Yeah,
home.
They are filling that apartment up.
This ain't the X mansion, kids. Come on.
Yeah.
Right. This is the X2 bedroom.
Yeah.
Okay, so this guy shows up, right? Is the taxi drove him here, right, to them, and then now he's winking to her again, like winking.
So he's trying to get his way in, and you notice he does a little sparkle thing again. Tell me more about Pete.
He almost looks like he's got cat eyes there.
Yeah. So he's wanting to find out from Chris there about Peter, obviously because of Harada, and that's when he brings her right to where he's hiding. So
poor Chris, he just always gets mind control like all day long, and all right. So basically, convince her to take him home, and then all of a sudden these like I guess special agents or something just kind of kick through the rooftop, or was it rooftop or the windows? I can't tell.
Those
windows.
No, windows. Yeah.
It's just that it's at that canted angle.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Pete says, "Hey, Chris, get down," and then it's like some kind of drug. So I don't know if that remember if that was from earlier. Was he or that's when they shot him, because they shot.
Oh yeah, you can see the needle in his arm right there.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Got
the needle. Yeah, needle right here.
And then Flamingo tries to set him on fire.
All right, so they fall on attack. Okay, so Zephyr gets shot as well.
Oh yeah, they all get it.
Oh, they all get shot. Yeah, boom, boom, boom. There you go. Okay.
Well, and mean old landlord comes up here. Have I told you kids once? I told you 1,000 times. No parties. So
that's funny how they end the issue this way.
Yeah. Very like Three's Company, right?
Right.
That's pretty.
Talk
funny.
about a dated reference.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, it's funny. So that's the next issue. Iranian
Nights.
Definitely not a party.
Maybe we can sing Iranian Night.
I really like that cover. That's a good one.
That's a great cover. Who did this cover?
I think Howard Simpson. Let's see.
I think so.
Let's see. Cover artist. Yeah, Howard Simpson.
That's great.
So actually, I found this at a shop about an hour away from me. This issue, and it was signed by Howard Simpson.
Oh wow!
So yeah. So only I've never met Howard Simpson or anything. So only signature I've got by him. But
so we've transported. The story has taken us to Iran. I'm guessing, right?
Yeah.
And Peter.
I love how they're all dressed up, trying to blend in.
Yeah.
And
meanwhile, Pete's in prison.
Wait a minute. So basically, they literally just jump way in time, where they somehow knew where to look for Pete.
Well, you notice they're with Screen.
Okay. So they skipped a big part of the story between 19 and 20. Meaning, like they just assume that Screen came back got the girls all dressed up and flew.
They
everyone
had his
around.
beeper number. They knew how to
Yeah.
reach
Oh,
him.
yeah, they did. Sorry.
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
All right, so now they're all in Iran, and they're playing dress up, and this ambassador's wife is making sure she gets the best, most
Right.
stunning outfit to cosplay in.
Mm-hmm. And then you have the Khalees guy making contact with Harada's people.
Harada, yeah. So Harada's kind of still observing what's going on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, they kidnapping Pete. I mean, that's the one they're worried about because that's the one Harada wants to use. And I don't think it's till 25 that we find out the exact reason why Harada's really interested in him. But yeah, so they're coming to the rescue.
So interesting. I wonder why they use kind of the whole Iran thing.
We'll have to ask Bob.
Yeah, it sounds kind of random, don't it? Right? I mean,
It is super random. Yeah.
Up to that point, I mean, why not? I don't know, France, whatever.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about 92 or whatever. So you're not talking about like in the 70s where you had the Iranian,
Exactly. Yeah, it's not even like close to when the altercation and stuff was going on. It's kind of strange. All right. So basically, a few things happen, right? They basically break in and they get Peter back. Oh, what's cool is I remember this right here. So basically, she blinds the guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And is that her power, her ability to like make bright lights?
Yeah, like a bright light. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Gizmo wouldn't like her much.
Nope.
But his power must be in his eyes themselves, because if you notice, she blinds him, and then he's like, I can't, sparkle eyes or no more. But yeah, here's the hardcore warrior screen comes in, saves the day.
So he's definitely an older guy. He comes around. He helps these guys get it together. And then who's this guy on the bottom? Is it that guy with the special powers that just got his eyes burned, or is someone else? I don't remember. I was a little confused.
Yeah, it looks like him because if you see that middle panel, he's got his eyes covered up, and it looks like him right there.
Okay, so that's that. They're out of Iran, so it's kind of a quick in and out. Back to Jersey.
Yeah, well, and Screen had a shot there where he said he could arrange transport to India for them, but it's still a long way from home.
That's right. So this is more of a.
I was just saying real quick, the cover mentions the serial number contest. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, in the books, they had. Let me show you. Every book had its own little serial number. Well, if I get it right in a minute, right there.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So every book had that, and then you could send this in if you had the how to claim the prize right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, Valiant was so interactive when it comes to their books. They try to definitely think of ways to engage you in real life, way more than a typical publisher. And I think that's kind of why I love them too. Because I'm the guy that would clip out coupons, ship it out, redeem, and then look forward to something in the mail. And often you just trust that they'll send something back.
Right.
All right. So issue 21, where are we at with this?
Well, they're back in the apartment.
Back in the apartment, back in Jersey. These kids and
Peter's having nightmares.
So this is kind of Peter's issue. If we're going back to the way everybody had their kind of singular issue.
Yeah.
This is kind of dealing more with him and his history, his parents. So he's having some flashbacks about when he was a kid and stuff. And so you get the gist that his dad was abusive and drinking in particular.
Yep.
And so he was trying to deal with that. And then he finds out that, his dad's in the hospital. So that's where he goes to kind of make peace with him. And as you know, he can get into their minds. And so that's what he was doing there. So he has this little altercation with his dad. And then he realizes that his dad was just a hurt boy himself, which is typical for abusers, right?
Yep.
Right.
Hurt people hurt people.
Yep. And so that's then that he's like, okay, I pity him. And it's because he saw his dad through his eyes. So couldn't give love. You can't get, or my dad couldn't give love. You can't give what you don't have. I can't forgive you, Dad. Not yet, but in time I will have to. So
yeah, there you go. His dad actually turns into a kid there.
Yeah.
That's cool. So emotional, so deep. I just feel like it's kind of cool how they kind of go and addresses these kind of father and son issues and some of these like plots surrounding abuse. I think it's pretty powerful. All right, Archer is in the building.
Woo! Well, little teaser there, but Archer and Faith are quite the item in VEI.
They are?
Yeah.
They're an item? That's so interesting.
Did not know that.
Yeah, and so it's in VEI. It's also said that Archer, where he gets his abilities are from, is he's a psyop. That's how he's able to do what he does.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So they reveal that later then. That
They never revealed it like during VH1, but VEI, kind of said, well, this is how he was doing that. It's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So yeah, I don't think they've seen him, the team, since Unity. So they're kind of catching up on they're catching up on old times. One of those fun issues that just starts out as everybody's just kind of having a good time and leads
into they're at Coney Island. And then they get like caught up with like some mafia guys that run a restaurant or something.
Of course. Of course. Why wouldn't they get caught up with mafia guys that run a restaurant? Well, in the midst of their reunion.
Well, because if in Rise Zero, it's revealed that Flamingo and Archer actually married each other. So that's how it was supposed to have been in VH1. Yeah.
Oh.
So this is them kind of hinting at that a little bit. She jumps on the back with the motorcycle as they all race off.
Yeah, I relate a lot to Armstrong, and I think if I was a young Armstrong, I would definitely be with Flamingo. Maybe we can ask Dinesh why they changed the direction of his love interest.
Well, Flamingo dies.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
We got like 4 or 5 verses to go before we get there.
Close your ears. Close your ears.
For this 30-year-old book.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, if you haven't read it, it's your fault.
Right.
That's true. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so Axe is back. What the heck? How come he came out of sewers?
Well, I mean, he's scum, so I mean that makes a perfect place for him. Right?
He is scum.
So yeah, he comes out of the sewers and he says, "Good, I got some scores to settle." Now, this story is continued in XO 21, so which we kind of covered. So it's going to look like a jump.
So what happened in XO 21? Do you remember?
Look at the cover.
Not off the top of my head.
Let's see. Let's go XO 21 real quick. It seems like we have to do a quick time jump.
I know I read it. I just can't remember off the top of my head because I run so close together.
Yeah, I get it.
Read that whole run. It's like hard to keep up with the individual issue numbers.
Oh yeah, they're all kind of mixed in. I mean, they're well, that's kind of the cool thing too. They did a good job of like steering you into like different titles.
Yeah. Well, like there was an issue of XO that like in the latter part of the series that it's like, oh, to be continued over in Shadow Man, and it was a Shadow Man issue I hadn't read yet, so one of the latter ones because I only read like the first part of Shadow Man too. So it was there's a lot of jumping around like that where if you're only reading that one series consecutively, you miss a little bit, but
were you pulling up that issue or you
I'm trying to, but I don't know why it's not showing up.
Yeah, XO Man of War 21 is the one where Randy is in the exosuit, which is a homage to the BWS cover.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's coming now, I think.
I enjoyed the period when she was in the suit. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, I got a nice. It looks like a Steranko homage page where she's floating out in outer space by the moon.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah.
I don't know why it's showing this instead of the book, but it's really not showing me.
Are you not a We Bear Bears fan?
Look, I don't know why it's showing that. Oh, there we go. Here we go.
Okay, there you go.
21. 21.
What? The only one that's
Wow.
Wait, what the heck?
That's terrible.
What's up, Global Comics? What the heck happened? It's
They
literally
said
the one
not
we're looking for.
day, sir.
All right.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Read EXO, Man of War, 21, Valiant, 1992, free. Sorry. We have to go to
Yeah. You need to watch that one. That one's got a bunch of.
I know it's very dangerous actually, so not safe for work maybe. But here we go. Dude,
Okay.
this cover is such an iconic one. Like
There it goes again.
watch. Yeah, it doesn't do the thing, but
It
I'm
does
not
that
gonna play anymore. But this is basically the covers, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I don't know what happens there, but we could continue.
Yeah. We don't want you to get all the viruses.
We might just get the virus might be out of control.
Or show certain things on your screen to get your thing taken down. So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, he is triple X Carl.
that is true.
That's true. It might be my own ads on there. But this Global Comics, I gotta give some feedback. It's weird. Like it doesn't really work really well. Like once you kind of back up, then it doesn't allow you to move forward. Remember?
Yeah, so go up to the top. Hey, so Carl, go up to the top where the little search button bar will come down. Like just move your mouse up to the middle of the top of the page.
I'm trying.
Yeah, and then you can go over to the right hand side and move to the down there at the bottom where it says.
Yeah.
Or just do that.
Yeah.
So we're on what? 23, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, we're back.
Okay.
Okay, so they're in the sewers. So guessing somehow they ended up in the sewers. Hey, Arelas, welcome. Okay, we're on issue
23
now. So we're in the sewers, right? After this whole EXO. I'm guessing EXO had some sort of appearance with these guys and then took off.
Yeah, so they're in the Harbinger Foundation, one of the many around the world. This one's in Queens, New York. And somebody mentions that, hey, they're in egg breaker outfits. They're not egg breakers. But those.
And then what happened here? Who's sleeping here and who's this?
Oh, that's them back in the apartment.
Okay. So is Chris back to the apartment with someone else or with Peter?
So this is the issue where Harada takes control of their minds?
Yep.
How far ahead are you? What page are you on? Yeah, because you jumped all the way back to the apartments. Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was kind of going through.
So this is this issue has the death of a character, but so Pete confronts one of his Harada's guys.
This guy right here.
His man. Yeah.
And what does he find out? Walter Sakai.
Yeah, that's the guy that was on. I think that's the guy that was on the phone with Khalif earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like his right hand man kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it also hints like all lies, and so we'll kind of get to that in issue 25. But so meanwhile at headquarters in Missouri, they're talking with Harada, and then they make their way back to the apartment. Okay. Wind down a little bit.
Wow, that's a big bed. And they got the sneaker here too. I thought that was kind of cool. Look at that, like sneaker in the front here and then the big bed.
So Pete's got some brass cojones, and so you see what he does. He calls. He says, "I want to speak to Harada."
wow.
Not a very smart move.
Come on, Toyo. I'm sick of the games. I'm sick of the lies. And he really just.
It's like, what are we doing here?
Right.
You know that scene in X-Men where Magneto and Professor X and Days of Future Past?
Yeah.
He says, "Where were you at, Charles?" And the thing starts doing that, and they're like, "Hey guys, can we take this down a notch?" Because he was crushing the airplane. So this is kind of that scene where like Pete's powers because he's getting all worked up,
being pissed. Wow, he's throwing up people too. Wow.
Yep.
So he's throwing up Chris, throwing everyone. So
yep.
Yeah.
But then look at Harada's office; it's the same way.
Yeah, and then Harada's is kind of chilling, like.
Well, no, I mean on the next page.
But look at his office. The
trash.
stuff is moving around in Harada's office too.
Yeah.
Right. I kind of like the viewpoint through the lampshade.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's really good composition. That's great.
So Pete's done ticked off the wrong people.
Yeah.
And then I make an appearance. I show up and I was like, "Hey, we couldn't open the door, sir. What happened here?" He says, "Nothing of concern, Carl."
Talking to you.
So meanwhile, back at the ranch, the phone rings again, and then everything hits the fan.
Yep.
Because just as Pete was able to do stuff across phone lines, Harada can too. And so this is where
so he's controlling everyone. Oh shoot.
Yeah. So it's like, Pete's like a cocky young kid, you don't know what kind of power I got. And Harada's like, kid, you don't even realize what power I got.
Ooh,
I know how to control it. So so everybody's turning on him except Shaquita.
Well, now why is Shaquita able to shake Harada's influence and control?
Yeah, I don't know if it was because she didn't answer the phone or didn't listen in on the phone.
Does Harada not know that she's with them?
Maybe that's what it is, and maybe it's just the original ones.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Maybe they don't know. And then,
but the fact that Flamingo is like full on like Johnny Storm out here,
right?
Full on naked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that page just recently went at her Heritage where she. Yeah.
What? Oh, wow. Who got it?
I don't know. I hadn't seen it come back up on CAF.
Okay.
But yeah, so Pete's like not knowing what to do. These are his friends. He doesn't want to hurt them. He knows it's not really their fault. He's kind of gathered that, but they're kind of at their mercy, and that's when, it's kind of too late.
Oh, what the hell? So Shakira's dead?
Yeah. She gets booted out the window. Defenestrated.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, you got killed by Flamingo?
Yep.
Ooh, that's messed up.
Yep.
So like we said before with Valiant, hey, just hang around long enough, your character's probably going to be dead, so don't worry about it.
And here's the homage cover.
Oh yeah. So why was this significant, this issue, for them to do an homage like this?
Well, it's breaking, right? So it's kind of like visually referencing #1 when they were kind of forming the team, getting together, having a good time, and it's all falling apart.
Yeah, foreshadowing.
But it's interesting because, at this point, like at issue 24, Torque's been dead for like 20 issues.
Yeah.
So why did they have Torque? Why didn't they update this with all the new characters?
Too many of them.
Yeah.
Bob Layton, that's a question for you. I'm going to add that to Bob. Harbinger 24, why not use new characters in the car? All right, cool. All right, so dead end. Here we go. 24. So seems like Peter's on a rampage now, right? He's like, yo.
Yeah, he goes to the hospital because the ambulance took his friends away after they burned our house down, and he wants to know where they took them. And so then the police come and arrest him. You can guess who's pulling the strings on all this.
Wow. So Harada is so powerful at this point.
Yes.
He's basically controlling like everyone around him. And just,
Yep.
That's cool.
Like he's been, like you find out, and we'll find out soon enough that like how much he's been involved in everything.
Wow.
And like, I'm the one that you only have what I let you have, Peter. I don't know who you think you are.
But it's funny because like in 3 pages, you get the sparkle in his eye 3 times, and like they messed up.
Like because that's generally like a once a issue thing, right?
Yeah,
And like,
give or take. Yeah.
Couple things. I mean, that was the critique as well. Like in the last 3 issues, you could tell kind of the rule that Shooter always had was like every comic is someone's first comic.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just don't really do a good job of recapping what happened. Instead, they like skip like a ton of stuff, and it kind of throws you off a little bit. So I thought that was very
nice. Well, it was weird because as I've been reading these, like every time that there's like, oh, this will be continued in an issue of a completely different book. Like, if you're only reading that one book, you definitely miss out on some stuff. I mean, I get that they were probably trying to get people to read the other titles, but you can't just spring that on somebody, like. But they didn't do it too often, and usually it was only for an issue. But like, if you're only reading Harbinger, you don't find out the end of that Archer and Armstrong story, right?
mm-hmm.
And Howard Sims is interesting. He's not the most consistent when it comes to the looks of the characters. I mean, it looks like 2 different Peters, like 2 different people.
Yeah, I mean, the coloring has a big effect on that too for those 2, I think. But you're absolutely right.
Yeah, like his frontal. I mean, just the shape of his face is so
yeah.
Yeah, he almost looks a little more husky on the right page.
Definitely, he like gained some weight.
It's anger weight.
Yeah, anger weight, exactly. Okay, so basically, everyone's kind of going after him, but he's kind of fighting back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Screen shows up.
Oh, Screen shows up. What's up, Screen? Oh, nowhere.
Yeah, so he comes and puts the screen up for the fire and the flames. And he's like, okay, yeah. So Pete picks him up and says, all right, hold on. We're fixing to go somewhere. Then you start having some flashbacks.
Oh, look, Torque's here.
Yep.
There you go, Carl. That's why he's on the cover.
That makes sense. It's a throwback. Okay.
Yeah.
Question answered.
So the next page kind of shows like how much he's involved in everything. So she says,
Harada's been controlling her from day one. Is that what he's hinting?
He says, anyway, Peter, I'll admit the road's been very smooth thus far, but you don't want to take that road because there's no way back.
Whoa, that's crazy. So is that basically what they're insinuating, that he's been controlling Chris this whole time?
Not just her, but
yeah,
a lot of stuff.
That's crazy. Harada's crazy. Harada's naughty because didn't Chris sleep with Torque? Like, and maybe Harada.
So you kind of then believe did he want that, right? To keep Pete from being attached.
Yeah.
Because they already established that Chris is very subject to being messed with in your mind, right? Because he had done it.
So where are they now? At Screen's apartment? Man, what a mess this guy.
Yeah. It's definitely not the Taj Mahal the other one was.
No. I mean, I used to live in a loft in downtown LA as well, so I could relate. It's kind of like this.
So it's funny that Screen's got all this stuff going on. He's got the cat up there at the top, the cat at the bottom, the rollerblade, which is very nice, and the Holy Bible. So there's a Holy Bible right there on the bed.
Oh yeah, and it's a fat one too. It's not like a tiny one. It's a big. It's literally the size of like. God, that's a huge one.
That's probably one of the ones with all the Jesus quotes highlighted.
Yeah.
He's got the lava lamp on the table. I mean, this is the broke man's crib,
Yeah,
and then he tells him, he says, I'm fixing to go to the Harbinger Foundation. He says, are you crazy? Harada wants you to go. I don't care. It's like, okay, got a death wish. All right.
And then he says, fine, I'm going with you.
Yeah.
if that's what you want to do, here we go. So it looks like they're on a bit of a suicide mission then, right?
Oh yeah. At this point, what do they have to lose?
Yeah, that would be a pretty cool page to get right there, where he stops all the bullets.
Oh yeah, that's a great.
Or not the bullets, but the door itself, and have all the guns pointed at him.
That's cool.
Look at that.
Do you have any of his pages? It's cool. This is kind of cool on the right. I like that. Boom. So it gets
and then the egg breakers, you're going to go through to Harada. You got to go through me.
Wow, they have a big crew now, right? They're just like getting bigger and bigger.
Well, if the various times that we've seen the egg breakers, there's a couple of reoccurring figures, but if you'll notice, there's different ones. So there's so many of them, and now they're all here because Harada's been expecting him.
Yeah.
So,
when, you know, like you said earlier, there's a bunch of different locations and they're all like training facilities or recruitment or all of that, right?
Look at this. The breaking of the egg breakers. Sting versus Harada. And where's Chris, Flamingo, and Zeppelin? Don't miss double size.
Double size.
Oh, double size. There you go. This is a big one. This cover is so iconic.
You know, Kevin Nolan inked this.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. That would be a cool one to have. Now there is a homage to this in VEI. I think it's actually Harbinger 25 also.
Oh wow.
Miko Suayan done it.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's a pretty cool one. I have a page from the interiors from that issue.
Nice.
But it kind of replays the same like battle at issue 25, which was kind of funny.
Now, is it because the story just happened to lead that way, or did they just?
I'm sure they're. I mean, that's too coincidental that they would both end at 25.
Oh wow! I just looked up the cover. It's a bit different, but it definitely references that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I'm gonna put that into a Dinesh question as well. Plan to have it near.
Well, what's funny, Newell, we were standing there talking about Turok at OAX, and Carl says, "Yeah, man, we're doing VH1 right now, but we're going to go into VEI." And Dinesh is like, "You ain't read it already?" Like he was literally hurt, you know?
He was kind of like, "What?" I haven't. I never came back to it, you know. So I'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah. We all will.
Yes. All right. Oh wow. So DPS.
It's fixed to go down. So that first page. Remember that Rock, the big guy, is the person that killed Torque.
Oh,
yeah. Is that the same one that Flamingo like choked him? He got rid of the air. Yeah. Okay.
So vicious, dude. He stabbed the crap out of him too. It's kind of crazy.
So this is coming to a head right here, and he says, Pete's still talking to Big Smack, and he was like, "Hey, are you sure you want to do this thing?" He's like, "Can we back out now?"
He's your best man. He's the best man. He's like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Like, yeah, let's do this.
So going through the next few pages, you'll notice like there is multiple deaths. There's one right there. There's some other stuff going down. I mean,
wait. So Peter's just straight killing them. He's like, "Screw them. I'm gonna kill him."
Yep. He killed a guy with another guy.
Oh yeah, he threw him into this guy, and the guy's head just smashes like. Wow.
Oh yeah, it's no holds barred issue 25. So like if
he throws all out.
Well, so right there where he's standing on the rock right there, or screen, all the wires going on, that'd be a pretty cool page.
He's choking this one to death, and this one we never even saw her power. I think it's like her first time appearing.
And then screen there is like, they're just kids. You're killing them.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, Peter really lost it on this one, huh?
Yep.
Oh, teammate switched sides, eh? Wait, who's
so
the
then
teammate?
So then he says to screen, he says, "Long time no see, Raymond. Seems my old teammate has switched sides, eh?"
He used to be an egg breaker.
So then he comes after screen, and you see what happens there.
Comes out the screen, he throws him through the wall. It's like, no. Wait, he kills him? No.
Yep. Yeah, he pushes his hand through his chest.
Oh, he punches through his soul. God dang.
Yep.
Wow.
They're not screwing around.
Twitter. Screw you and your inbred family. Boom. Oh. Wow. Ouch.
So Pete turns around to ask him, and he's like, "What?" He's like, "All right, I'm done messing with this rock guy. He's the one that taught Flamingos, like, okay, come on, this, don't worry about revenging Torque. It won't bring him back." Right. Now he's like, "All right, screw this."
Look at this. They like kind of blanked out the whole bottom half of his body. It's almost like
it
was so bloody. Wait, did they edit this? It looks like they kind of edited it, right?
Well, it's got a shadow on. It's got his shadow over it
with the blood going out.
Yeah, I would bet that this is one of those pages that's got one of those stats on it, where like it was actually better drawn and they covered it up before it went to print.
I think they covered it up for sure because I feel like they early Valiant would have drawn the blood and the guts and everything, but I think they were just getting ready to sell to Acclaim maybe, so or if not already. All right, so he goes, "You're next. Come on, stand check. It's just me and you now. So let's shut up, Rock." Ooh,
Boom.
Done.
Ouch.
That was for Torque.
Yeah. Well, you should have done that a while back because you could have saved screen too.
Yeah. So yeah,
he grows up the hard way.
This is so hilarious. Like it's been the biggest rumble. It's probably super noisy, and these guys go, "Hey, buddy, this area is restricted, guys. What are you doing here?"
Yeah, right. We need to see some ID.
We didn't hear any of that ruckus.
Yeah,
look at the damage in the panel right before that.
I know, that's ridiculous. So he turns around, and what does he do to them?
It looks like they just kind of float off or something.
Yeah, he just kind of makes them run off. Yeah.
All right, tell us what's going on. Why are we here? So are these some of the younger ones? Oh no, these are
that's Dave.
Oh yeah, what are they there?
I'm Chris. How did you know my name?
Oh my god,
they don't know who he is.
Don't you remember me? Holy crap!
Yeah, I remember reading that page when I was reading this one, and just like, oh shit,
that's messed up. So basically, Harada's been controlling them this whole time.
Well, either that or he just brainwiped them.
Yeah. So
either way,
I don't think we ever get which one is which, but either way, like all of my memories, fun times, hard times, it's gone.
All of it,
dude. So they really decided to put Peter through it. Huh? He's like, it doesn't matter anymore. Wow, that's rough.
So he just tells them to leave, go home,
get out.
And then we get the final confrontation.
Hello, Peter. I've been expecting you. Please come in and have a seat. It's like the final boss.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What are they talking about here? Took out your egg.
Well, I mean, I love that the whole thing, like he's making tea, but with his mind, you know.
Of course. Tea time. Can't miss tea time. I gave you a life. Wow.
Yeah. So he says, you took my whole life. And he says, where would you be without me? I gave you friends, adventure, a sense of purpose. You and I are Omega Harbingers, the only Harbingers capable of releasing powers of another. But I'm not young anymore, and I can't go trekking across the globe looking for our kind. So he wants Pete.
He wants him to be his protege. He wants to pass on the responsibility of recruiting and finding the other Harbingers.
That's right. Yeah, he said, I kept you happy. I gave you everything that you desired. You should thank me.
Man, talk about tough love, dude.
And so then, I mean, and he's just sitting there just chillaxing the whole time that he's just throwing up, throwing down.
I think he's up.
Next page, he's throwing stuff everywhere, all over the page.
Ooh, he loses it. And Harada's just drinking tea. Look at this panel.
Well, and then, they're doing like the classic thing, right? Like, oh, look what a badass he is. He doesn't even care that his office is getting all messed up.
That's
and
hilarious.
then when he wants Pete to sit down, turn to the next page. He makes him sit down.
He's like, these tantrums of yours need to stop. I really like this. This panel is cool. These tantrums of yours need to stop. I wasn't impressed the first time you did this. Now, please have a seat. I insist. That's hilarious.
And I said, sit down.
Wow.
Yeah, so he holds him down. Pete can't get up.
Woo!
And he said, I had such plans for you. You were to be the finest student, my best egg breaker, my lieutenant. And so, but he says it's not too late.
As he walks over to just fix his tie.
Yeah, again, he can do a bunch of things at one time, right?
So Jason, do you remember them showing Harada's power, like even close to this, leading up to this, or was this the first time they actually showed?
The first time.
Okay, this is the first time they show how powerful he is.
Yeah, and like he showed up a couple times in he showed up in like one issue Shadow Man. He showed up a couple times in Exo, and they never hinted at any of this, right?
Yeah.
He was just a dude. You knew he was involved with the Harbinger thing, but they didn't even really get into it until this book. And then this is where they really show you what he's actually capable of.
Yeah, because he's got the Harbinger Foundation. He's obviously rich. You can debate whether or not he's got it by, ill-gotten means. But, Solar knows who he is, the Eternal Warrior. They've all tied all this in together, but they really didn't talk about, like, how is he doing this? And it's because of his mind and his powers.
Right. And it's funny because it's this moment here where he's like comparing himself and Peter and saying, I wanted you to be me, basically the younger version, and you realize like, oh, wait, if Peter had like become an Eggbreaker and done training and everything like all of them did, is this what he could have become,
So in Rise Zero, we find that Harada, again, going back to the fact that your powers are too powerful for your body,
Yep.
Harada has to put his mind in other people in order to continue to survive, because he burns his bodies out.
Interesting. Yeah, I remember that.
So he has to do that. So you kind of get a glimpse of this right here, again, where he says, I respect you enough to give you a choice. Now you can join me voluntarily, or I can just take you. And they talk at the same time. Turn to the next page there. And he said, or I can just take you. It's like, which one?
And just the way that panel is done, the positioning and everything, that looks naughty.
Yeah, it does kind of weird. I can take you.
It's like whispering there. This panel is kind of cool too, with the whole like Japanese rye thing going on.
I kind of wondered if that was a hint at that, because Rising Spirit, which is where Bloodshot, comes from, is that's
and was Harada involved with the program Rising Spirit? I don't remember.
No, so Rising Spirit is a program against Harada.
Okay.
So in VH1 is two different companies. The company that runs Hardcore, that's after the Harbingers, and Rising Spirit's two different companies. In VI, they merge them together. They're actually the same company. And in Harbinger Wars, and VI is really good miniseries. Bloodshot goes like full on assault after Harada, and you see all the things that they've put in him to specifically kill Harada.
Wait, so Bloodshot can stand up against Harada?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty wicked. His power set, right there. But
I don't know why the page became like this.
So go back. Right there.
Yeah.
So he takes him and he does this little wormhole thing and sends him down all these flight of stairs. The carpet, the desk, everything, down those flights of stairs.
Brutal.
And then all of a sudden he turns around and he's like, it's not over. Now watch this next panel right here.
And then you get the sparkle in Harada's eye.
Yeah. Let me teach you a lesson.
Yeah.
He just knocked him straight out of that building.
It's over. I'll have to teach you a lesson about power. Boom.
Ballistic missile. Just boof. I remember turning the page on that one. It was like, wow.
That's hilarious.
Or,
swipe. Is he going through these buildings as well?
Yes. Yeah. They're knocking buildings down. That's how.
The hell?
Yeah. Look at that.
He's just coughing like, oh, my brain on fire. Doesn't
right.
Sound like this, Peter. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And he's like, go to hell. And this part is funny because it kind of reminds me of the fight between Gandalf and Saruman in the Fellowship of the Ring, the movie, right? When they're just like doing this with their staves, and then the other guy was flying across the room and they're spinning and stuff. Like they're not actually touching each other, but they're knocking each other around.
A lot in the fat. I actually felt that, huh?
I'm impressed. Yeah. And then they're throwing like rebar at each other and I beams and just.
Oh, this is all war right here. I mean,
yeah. And so this is a scene of what was on the cover, right? Mm-hmm. While they're standing in the rubble and they're staring at each other down.
So it did that right. That's too consistent about kind of previewing the book, the cover. Oh wow, what's going on here? What's with their eyeballs getting all bloody?
They're using their powers a little too hard. It's like when you squeeze a little too hard when you're trying to take a dump.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. It's burning their bodies out.
Yeah. And Peter says, I'm not afraid to die.
And then at the last minute,
he's like,
he says, no, not now. Now, you don't know what happened. He just says, no, not now. So he falls over, presumably dead, but he's not. Spoiler alert.
Until I can't tell if he's breathing.
Okay.
But the bigger thing is, because Peter, that's what they say. Well, we don't know. Of course, later they reveal that he's not dead. But as you find out right here, Peter can't have his powers no more.
Right.
Wait, so what happened? Like, it's fine. Why is this Rye thing over again? Like, it's weird, right? He has this Japanese thing behind him again.
I don't know if that's necessarily a Japanese thing. I think it's just like, giving that splash of color to kind of maybe indicate like emotion or something.
The red.
Yeah.
Oh, he can't feel anything anymore. He can't fly. My powers are gone. Oh, so he burned out.
Yep, he's out.
Wow.
He's just a normie now.
Normie.
So, I won't spoil it big time for you, but for most intents and purposes, for the rest of VH1, Pete's gone. He does come back and visit them. I'll give you that hint.
Oh, really? Okay.
Visit them.
Is it in the Harbinger book that he comes back?
No.
Okay.
And it's a mini series.
Okay.
So him and Chris basically kind of.
So Flamingo. So Flamingo's the only one left there.
Yeah. So Jason had told me that I could just read up to 25 and stop because it changes. I read 26 because I was curious, like in what way it changed. And so in this one, they kind of hear it on the news, like, oh, something happened, like there was a problem with the plumbing or something, Harada, we don't know where he's at, but he's fine, we've been told he's good, blah blah whatever. And then they go back to one of the schools for the Harada Foundation, and Faith is there, and she's all messed up because she knows that she did stuff with Peter and had all his adventures or anything, but she can't remember it and it's not real. And so she's at one of the Harbinger schools, and it just becomes a student there. It's like she just signed up for the Xavier Institute or something.
That's funny.
And so
Sean Chen in the building too. Sean Chen.
Exactly. Yeah, and that was the other reason I decided I wanted to read that one, because Sean did the art.
That's cool.
But she gets a room, she gets a roommate, she meets all these other characters. So you get this whole completely different cast, and Faith is the only one left over from the first half of the run.
Yep.
Got it. So they pretty much restart with Faith as the
Yep. And even it's so funny because even in this one, one of the earlier pages, they have a couple of like jocks, like, hey, who's the fat girl? Like, Jesus, just break.
And she's not nearly as drawn as big as what she's later drawn.
No, they slimmed them down a bit. I also remember this cover.
Actually.
Yeah, the Spider Alien Christmas cover.
Yeah, the Christmas cover. I remember.
Yeah, I didn't read this far, but yeah.
Yeah, I actually don't think I kept reading into these. I may have bought them, but I think by now I've kind of checked out. What year was this?
It does say Harbinger issue 34 does have a first appearance in there. And that is actually, well, I don't know if it's revealed in Harbinger. I don't remember. I don't think it was revealed in Harbinger 34 that it was actually Pete. But yeah, so so this is she's a new character. So they go all the way through the Chaos Effect, which was the next big crossover from all the titles. All the way to
Harada's not. He's alive still, right?
Yeah,
alive.
He's comatose, and so you remember that Neat Stuff website that
they have the cover.
They have that cover, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So of course there's Livewire right there, and so you find out, spoiler again, but you find out that Harada's still been pulling all the strings,
even
so all the stuff that Faith does, like all the way up to the end, and then he shows up and he's like, I've been doing this.
There's a cover that's available by so I didn't really connect with this cover because I don't think I got this far.
Is that a Sean Chen cover?
Sean Chen cover, it's actually available for sale somewhere.
Yeah. And so this crosses over with Hardcore, and so his team prevents them from killing him, and then all throughout the title, Hardcore is kind of should I be? I mean, the thing, does the ends justify the means? And so, like, we want this to happen, but hey, am I just not as bad as him if I do this, right? So kind of a reoccurring.
Oh, so it crosses over the hardcore. I guess he wakes up and then kind of comes back to this. Okay. All right. So I mean, I think that's as much as we need. I mean, you want to kind of close out the rest of the Harbinger on what happens.
Yeah. So like I said, they go through issue 41. There's a couple of first appearances. I mentioned the one in 34, which is the crossover from the Chaos Effect, which was kind of a big crossover that they did, and then 41 is the last issue, and there is a what do they call him? The Harbinger, Omega Harbinger. Yeah.
Who's that guy again? Wasn't he the like anti-Dr. Solar or whatever?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dr. Eclipse. So he's kind of like the big bad for this run, right? Starting from Secret Weapons and on.
Yeah, so he does his own little thing, but he's Master Dark's little puppet.
Yeah, that's right. Because he showed up toward the end of what the Shadow Man that I read.
So yeah, this is the Chaos. And so during the Chaos Effect, the dark energy is going like all over the world, and so their powers are kind of amped up. Dr. Murad, Shadow Man.
That page is cool.
Super cool. Armorines.
Yep.
Sick. Oh, these are cool pages. Nice. Who's the artist for this one? Is this Sean Chen too?
Sean.
Oh, wow, Sean had a pretty big run on a lot of books, right?
Well, and that was you see that first page in that issue right there was the kind of the retelling of Harbinger 25, right? There they are up there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're running away. Okay. Oh, while they're
Yeah,
fighting.
Pete and Barad in the background. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I think Dan Moeller owns that page. I know it's on CAF.
That's cool.
Oh, damn. Go back one.
Yep.
One more.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like Faith's mom's shooting her. Like,
oh, what the heck?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, what did you? Oh, no, it's what did you do to my parents? Okay, she's just a Harbinger person. I was like, is that her mom?
That's hilarious.
So you really don't know like what's real, what's fake, what's being pulled by Harada, what's not.
Yes.
You're right. And so in Rise Zero, I mean the whole battle with Harada goes on much into the future, until one of Peter's descendants kills him. So
Interesting.
Pure descendants. Wow. So that's what I love about Valiant though. Like they instead of multiverses, they let history and the future be kind of like the multiverse things that happen, which is super cool. I love that. Magnus shows up. Look at this.
Yeah, so in the Chaos Effect, they had this where Magnus ended up coming back to this real time.
Wow. I like his outfit better like this than the miniskirt. Sure.
Yeah, it was, usually when they do these costume changes, I'm not a big fan of, but that one, I was like, okay, this makes a lot more sense.
It looks like it may be a little, like Roman Centurion, maybe.
Like this shot right here, it looks cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But, I was thinking about the page I bought, which got mailed the other day. And so this one right here, Dan has that one. He was trying to sell it not too long
ago. On the
ago.
right or the left?
The one on the right where Harada shows up. That's when he shows up and ends up telling Faith.
I can really tell that's a Sean Chen face there.
Yeah. All right, now the penciler changes to Rene Micheletti. Wow, this really changes. This is a big shift.
And look at that cover. That's a very different style.
Super. What happened? Like this. Wow. There's a big shift. And then instead of like retelling, they just kind of do a little paragraph here now. So they say, all right, we just took over the book. Here's a little recap of what happened. And
well, it picks up where like right there at the door scene where he shows up.
Yeah.
And yeah. But well, I was thinking about with the death of that character on that page that I got. Like when you read, well, never mind. I was going to say something, but I'm going to spoil. If we're going to read Rye, that's going to spoil that.
Yeah, let's not get into it. We'll get into Rye when we get to Rye. Rye's next, right?
Yeah.
But when we read Rye, you know, some of Rye's first issues were actually flip books with Magnus.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, this is really gonna start. I mean, I'm gonna say this. Like, this is the type of issue that would just throw me out of the series because it just looks so like different.
Well, if you think about like what set at this point, they're just pushing issues out and they're hoping that the diehards still buy them.
Yeah.
You know, because what separate Valiant if it was the colors, the story, the art. Well, when you have a book that has none of them, what do you start happening? I mean, you know, which this is in 95. So, I mean, 95, 96, you know, things are falling apart.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm looking at. It just doesn't even look like Valiant. You know what kind of reminds me of? Malibu Comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the coloring looks different, and it might be the same process
totally
for person, but
yeah, totally different. It's just what the heck? Look at this. I mean, just
well, that's like when I was reading EXO. You know, I went all the way through, and at one point there was just that hard shift in the art, the coloring, like everything changed dramatically.
Kevin Van Hook. That's a question for him. Like, what were those moments that started shifting?
And John Ross, I know that name. I think.
Yeah, Mike DiCarlo did the inks on that.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, you know what? It's perfect. I think we do Rye next, and then or should we ask Sean to come on next Saturday, see if he can make it? Because then we could just talk about his Harbinger, and then he could give a preview to Rye, and then before Newell goes in.
Well, so his Rye is the new one. So yeah, so his, you know, it starts in issue 9, Rye in the Future Force, whereas the Rye that died in Unity, that's the one that crosses over a couple of issues with Magnus and then goes to issue 7 before he dies. So.
Okay, so we could wait. A beat. We'll finish through Y first.
Yeah, so that's the Omega Harbinger there, and yeah, him in the visitor. Yeah, that guy
in the business suit.
No, the guy that was flying.
Guy that was flying. Oh, here. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes, father. The heck? It's like wannabe red Superman.
A little bit.
Look at the costume design.
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious. So, do they cap this thing off nicely, or does it just kind of fade away?
Character dies, and it's just like, yeah.
Okay.
Who cares? This is the last issue.
All right, Kevin. We have a lot of questions for Kevin. Like, what happened? Man? Who is this?
Well, look, you know, when you're you know bailing water off the Titanic, I mean, what do you do at that point? I actually go back. That DPS, I own that DPS.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's a nice one.
So,
nice.
Yeah, Anthony had it on his website. He didn't even. It was one of those ones he just had like a question mark because he didn't know what it was. So,
I'll take it.
Yeah, from the last issue.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Writer, and then who's this? Claves Jr. I don't know who that is.
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think it's definitely. Oh, look at it! This is the Omega guy, right? Wow, his face looks crazy. He's like Shadow Man on fire, kind of thing. Shadow Man meets EXO meets Superman Red.
So you see, he kills the guy, right? So.
Looks like kind of a crappy like Future Sentinel or something.
He does. Okay, so he kills a guy, and then so basically, is a hard ending. So basically, not much closure. I mean, just this guy kills a guy, and then what happened to this guy? Came out of the way. He's like, no.
Yeah, regretting his life choices. But I mean, so there's a Omega Harbinger Omega 1 and 2 miniseries, and then it'll go into I'm sure Valiant Universe meets the Visitor. They fight each other. So
Wow. So how do you feel, Noel, going through it again with us? I mean,
it was fun. I'm kind of glad I stopped where I did, though.
yeah, I think so. It looked like 25 is the place to start. Because even flipping through it, it's almost like wow, like it really was just pumping out issues at that point to finish off the issue.
Well, I think it would have been fine for a few issues, but with the Sean Shen and art and all that, and getting to know the new team. But that last part didn't look like it was any worth the time.
Yeah, I'm curious. So I mean, even with Sean, I have a lot of questions for him because it started off with Ride, and it was like a hit. He said it sold like 900,000 copies, right? Because
wow,
I'll let him tell a story of like kind of what happened there. But then I guess Harbinger came later for him. Jason, do you remember? So this was way later, like towards the end. So I'm sure Sean's very open and transparent as well. So he'll probably tell us honestly what happened. And
Sean doesn't stay on Ryan the Future Force the whole run. He ends up getting put over to Harbinger. So
so you have Rye, Harbinger, and then he moves on. Is that what happens?
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember. I don't think he could correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he drew any of the other stuff. So I think that must be he might have moved over to Marvel at that point.
Could be.
He did some Wolverine and then later on some Iron Man.
Yeah, he did Iron Man in the late 90s during the Heroes Return, like after Heroes Were Born. He was on that run with Kurt Busiek.
Yeah, it's basically he has a cool story of that one too, because in a way it was I don't know if you guys remember, but I guess Marvel was going through so much stuff. They had licensed their stuff to Image, and they had gotten it back, and that was when they brought Sean in. Okay. Really interesting. I didn't even know that, and so there's a lot of kind of like shop talk that Sean has been through. That was really interesting through the course of what was happening with comics at the time.
That's cool.
Well, and his the conversation about Ryan 9 altogether is and him not seeing those pages.
Yes, that's a whole conversation in itself.
By itself.
Yeah. All right. So why don't we get to show and tell?
All right.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
Well, I don't have anything, so I'm just going to watch.
All right. So yeah, today you don't have anything. So I guess it's Jason first, and then I'll go second. I have a couple things, complete unrelated.
All right. Not Valiant related, so nobody throw stones.
No, but I'm a little bit jealous of this one, I'll be honest.
That's cool.
Big fan of Gary Frank. Yeah.
Yep. So he had 3 pages up on eBay, and of the 3 at the time, I think this is the one that I liked the best.
Of the one, so there was 2, this one and another one. The other one went for a lot more money.
Right.
I'm saying I think there was a third one, but I wasn't as interested in.
Sure.
This one, another one. And so the other one went for more money, and I'm like, I'm going to lean into this one. And this one didn't go as high as I thought it would.
Right.
But yeah, so this is you can see the little pencils as he kind of just finished the figure.
Cool.
Yep. I love seeing stuff like that.
It's the best. Yeah.
The process stuff. Yeah.
Wait, is this one of the new books that's out from?
This is Geiger from Ghost Machine, which is the Jeff Johns thing at Image.
Yeah, that's cool.
So he writes this, and Gary Frank does the art, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, Junkyard Joe. This is their first meeting.
Yeah. No, it's not.
You sure?
They met in the miniseries.
Oh, I forgot about that. You're right.
The first Geiger miniseries, yeah.
That's right. You're right. And so because the other page that was up, it had Red Coat on it too.
Okay, yeah. He met him in the first miniseries too.
Cool. This is really nice art.
Because the whole big thing with that was in the miniseries, they showed that timeline, and they were hinting at like all the other characters,
Was that the 80-page giant that they did?
No, before that, the first thing they did was the 6-issue mini for Geiger.
Okay, right.
And then they did like the 80-page, and then they did a 6-part Junkyard Joe mini, and then they did the Geiger ongoing, and now there's the Red Coat ongoing. I think that's everything.
Junkyard Joe reminds me of the guy from
the Creature Commandos.
Yeah.
Well, Geiger, is Dr. Phosphorus, right? So
that's true. Yeah. Oh yeah, Dr. Phosphorus too. It's so interesting.
Didn't think about that.
I didn't think about that. So interesting. So is that series going pretty well? Because I know it's a big
yeah. It's really good. I mean, not just because of the Gary Frank art. I think that Jeff Johns is he's a pretty solid writer. And I know that, people have loved him for years because of his DC work, which I never really read. But now that I'm reading this stuff, which is obviously something that's, a big deal for him, it's really good because he's writing Geiger, he's writing Redcoat, he's writing the other 2 books that they have right now, which are not related, the Hyde Street and the Rockefellers, which are also both really good. So like he's killing it over there. Oh, and then there's the sci-fi book too, Rook Exodus, which is on a break right now. But have you been reading that one, Jason?
Yeah, I have. I love
it. A lot of fun.
The Jason.
Funny.
Yeah, I would love to get some of the pages from that one too.
Yeah, Jason draws digitally, except for like I think the covers and then like some of the big splashes. So it's not every page.
Okay.
And he's gotten stingy about selling his art. And so I'd love to get like something from that series.
Yeah. So you're saying is if it comes up, jump on it.
Yeah. So, he had that Batman the 3 Joker series that him and Jeff Johns did.
Yep.
And so I actually got the card art for the Red Hood and the Joker off of Comic Art Live. I couldn't believe I scored it. They used it on the back page of issue 2 or the back cover of issue 2. And it was also used as a retailer giveaway.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I couldn't believe I scored it. But
no, that's awesome.
But yeah,
Jeff Johns is a cool industry story. He was actually the assistant to Richard Donner, the director of Superman, for a long time. And while he was doing that, Kevin Feige, who's the head of Marvel, was the assistant to Lawrence Schuler Donner.
Oh, wow.
Producer of all the X-Men movies.
Okay.
So there was an event that we used to host these kind of like writer-director fight clubs, and we had Jeff and Richard come speak.
Did you say writer-director fight club?
Yeah, it's kind of a little get-together thing. And then,
I was just like, wait a minute.
No one fights, but we just talk.
Okay.
But what's cool was Jeff was telling about a story how he was so nervous the first time. I guess he was, Richard Donner always trusted him as an intern. And then one time he said, "Hey, can you go grab this truck for production?" He's never driven like a semi truck before. So but he's like, "Oh, don't worry, just go get the keys and drive it." And I forgot what the details are. Hopefully maybe one day we could have him on and we could talk to him about it. But since you guys are into his stuff, I always remember the story is he drove the truck and he ran it like into like a sign at the lot. And like that made him like so memorable to Richard that they forever remember him. So it's like a really fun, cool story.
That's funny.
Yeah, there's a lot more details to it, but I always remember that. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. So that's a way to set an impression.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, my show and tell. I'm gonna do this real quick, and then we'll wrap. I know both Jason and I have a hard out today. Let me throw this in here. Let's see, where's the present? Here we go. I don't know how to do this. All right, there we go.
Oh man.
All right, so there's my. So I've always had a Texera kind of thing on my checklist, but very small part of checklist. I just want something from what he did for Wolverine and for Ghost Rider for Marvel Comic Present. So I did get a Marvel Comic Present page from number 64 of what he did for Wolverine. But what's really cool was behind it, he has this Wolverine Ghost Rider.
Oh wow, that's almost cooler than the page,
right? It's kind of cool. So it was cool to come across this, and so I had to grab it. I just felt like it was the right one. I wasn't trying to go crazy with any of the examples, so
that's a good page. I like that.
And then another small example I had on my list was like a Silvestri Lady Deathstrike example, and I got this. So this was from issue 37. It's not the biggest version of their fight, but it comes across, right? It's like Deathstrike just goes in his face. And like I remember the very memorable moment where they kind of roll off the rooftop and fall into the water. So this is my latest acquisition. And these were all kind of pretty chill. It wasn't too crazy as far as like affordability goes, and they were literally just on sale from someone. So I felt very lucky.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, anyways, we checked off boxes. We finished Harbinger. What's next, guys? What should we expect for the next episode? I think we're back next Saturday as well, right?
Like in 3 or 4 days?
Oh, not this Saturday. Next Saturday.
The following Saturday. Okay.
This week is actually Comics Pro, so I've been like,
right,
neck deep in work. So we have a presentation. It's our first time presenting the retailers this Saturday, so I'm half nervous, half kind of feeling over prepared.
You got it.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the Saturday if I'm going to be able to make that one, but so we we'll figure something out. But
we'll figure it out because we have special guests too that we're gonna coordinate, so it might switch.
We're working on that. Yeah,
I don't know when we're gonna do it, but we'll have the next one coming up, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, I got to read Rye. I know that much.
Yeah. So yeah, Noel's gonna read Rye, and we'll all be back, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe, like below, and leave your comments, and read Valiant Comics.
Do it
Later.